All right. Hello, everyone. What's up, friends? If you saw the one earlier, this one should have better quality.
Mm.
We got technology to work.
Hey,
What's up?
Nick.
What's up, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing good. We have a song out now. Congratulations.
Yeah, is it officially out?
Happy.
It's officially out right now, huh?
Yeah, came out.
3 minutes?
I think so. I'm happy we
Exciting.
could. Yeah, I couldn't figure it out on my shit.
Yeah, I just did the same thing you did, but it worked.
Yep. Cool. Well, yeah, I'm really excited that you were a part of this thing. It's a project that I've been putting together. I first started thinking about it really as soon as I started making music as Grandson. I had been influenced by acoustic music, artists like Citizen Cope, G Love and the Special Sauce, Ben Harper, even like Jack Johnson. I'm not scared to admit, Dave Matthews.
Yeah.
I was growing up on all that shit, and
Amazing.
I just didn't. So doing an acoustic project was always something that I one day wanted to do. The idea of it being a collaborative project took a second for me to wrap my head around, but I think it really came into fruition when I watched a documentary that's on Netflix about Laurel Canyon in like the late and 60s. And
Tom Petty and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Where it was just seemed so collaborative. Like all these different artists were living in the same neighborhood, working together, hanging out together. And I felt like our version of that, the alternative music scene 40, 50 years later, I do think that we have that sort of mutual appreciation and admiration for one another. But I think that the way that the internet has changed both how we make and consume music, it has broken down geographical barriers. So before, you had to be in LA, you had to be working in these same studios with these same studio musicians. Now so many of us started all over the place, and I have a lot of friends that are making music that are still in places like Montreal, Toronto, overseas. So anyways, the point being, I think that we all had that mutual respect, but we just hadn't had the opportunity to connect. I think we had hung out a couple times. Shouts out CJ first and foremost, who really put you guys on my radar. So one of my first tours was opening for Joywave, who are awesome dudes. And
the brothers Joywave are on our label, good friends.
There you go. So their tour manager on that tour was your tour manager. And so then I started listening to music, and I wanted to, as soon as I was putting together artists that I would want to work with on this project, we did the first song with K-Flay called Peaches. And here we are. So all of a sudden we got a song together.
I'm honored to be a part of it. I'm glad that you thought of me. It's really cool. You were talking about the Laurel Canyon scene. It reminds me of like Seattle, where I grew up, which in the 90s was like such a local scene, and all the bands knew each other. And I kind of felt that since we moved from New York to LA is way more like that. People like you are just more down to collaborate and do stuff together, and that's been such a rad vibe for us. So we always try to foster that.
Well, it was also interesting to navigate. We got into that room together, and there was kind of this elephant in the room of, are we going to do something that's really politicized? Are we going to do something that's angry? Which is definitely like a space in which I love creating from. It's very cathartic to make music that addresses those kinds of things that are the most frustrating, both inside your attitude towards yourself or your mental health or your attitude towards the world or whatever. But also finding the dichotomy between using music in this confrontational way and using music as a form of escapism and using music to get the fuck out of here. So when we linked up, it was like, I just want this project, these acoustic songs, and this was before everything that's happening in the world right now. I wanted them to be
before it all went down.
Yeah, and so the song's called Whole Lotta, and it's a song about forgiveness, I think, first and foremost. And although certain relationships change throughout your life, be it to friends or family or your partner or whatever it is, being able to be in a place to still appreciate those things, even if they didn't work out, they helped you become the person that you ended up becoming. And it took
Yeah,
me a long time to be able to be in that kind of place in certain
that's cool.
relationships in my life, absolutely. To be able to actually like want the best for that person and appreciate them because they helped make me this me. So,
Yeah,
um, and it was, yeah, it was fun to make with you, man.
I agree. I had been kind of writing stuff a little more philosophical, political stuff in the mind state. So I remember that when we got together, I was like, "Are we doing something like that?" I thought it was really cool when you were like, "No, I kind of wanted to write something more about human relationships," you know, that and kind of said that's what I do. And I was like, "I guess I do that." Most of my songs are that, so it was kind of fun
Yeah,
to
and I think
get
that
back
this
into
one,
that.
more than any of the other ones, is kind of in that like '60s folk influence. Like
Yeah,
when we
yeah,
did the like harmonies, it felt like the Doobie Brothers singing to me. It was
yeah.
beautiful. I wanted to answer a couple questions. I saw one that I thought was interesting that somebody asked on Twitter. If I'm gonna find it, and I'm probably not, but you gotta just give me a second.
Hmm.
Wait for it. Things are happening. Oh, it was from somebody named Aldana SV on Twitter. They asked, "How different do you think the music or concert scene will be after this is all done?"
Good question. I have a feeling there's going to be some kind of renaissance. Like we don't know exactly how long this is going to go, but say it goes till midsummer, late summer, August. People are maybe thinking about touring again. If that's happening, then people have been cooped up for so long at that point that they're just going to come out so hard, and it's going to be an insane summer of love. That's what I
Yeah,
predict. I think they're
yeah.
already
No,
rescheduling for
on
fall.
one hand, I that's what I look forward to as well, and I expect. I think people are going to be excited to get back out.
Yeah,
I do think that
dying.
certain sorry about that. I do think that we're going to have to be more transparent in how we protect people, and how we make sure that people can be safe at shows. I think that
Yeah,
that's changing in so many ways, constantly. But I don't know. I think that music is going to be a good place. I think people are writing a lot. I know that for me, one of the biggest things is I think it's calling attention to how valuable it is to be self-sufficient as an artist, as a creator.
yeah,
I think that the artists I know that are already doing production, that are already cutting their own vocals, treating their own vocals. Like if
yeah,
you can mix and produce this shit sitting in your basement, I just think that there's so much power in that, and I think that this is really bringing light to that because I don't really do a lot of that anymore. I realized as I began Grandson that I was better off enabling people around me that do those individual roles with the same
yeah,
passion that I write songs and sing them.
yeah.
So I
Exactly.
ended up
I
working
mean,
with Boone on everything, and I obviously would no matter what. He's a brilliant collaborator, but I do think if there's anything that this thing has reminded me of, it's like wow, uh, power is being able to sit alone with your own mind in your own hands and make.
yeah.
That's my rant about it. That's my opinion.
I agree. I mean, everybody's getting forced, forced little isolation, and it's kind of, for me, totally the same way. Like I used to, when I made music in the beginning, I was always in isolation and kind of thinking creatively by myself and kind of building these weird ideas and just kind of doing it myself. And ever since things kind of started going where we were touring all the time, it was always working with other producers to be time efficient and just go, go, go. So this is kind of this weird, rare, special kind of moment where we were forced to be inside again, and I kind of feel connected to that, like
Mm.
that original sort of,
I
feeling.
go through waves of feeling connected to that and then absolutely hating that with like a burning passion. But
Yeah,
that's what we got to do either way. And
yeah,
we are still some of the lucky ones. Well, another person asked, "How do I unshit my pants?" That's a great question.
great question.
Another one of those complicated, nuanced questions. But
Got to put on some fresh underwear
yeah, I guess that's it.
every day.
Were you guys scheduled to play Firefly this year?
We were,
Yeah, me too.
yeah,
That's we were too. That sucks so
yeah.
much.
I heard they canceled. They didn't even postpone. They full canceled. Is that right? That's what I heard.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes me sad. I don't want to think about it. I'm gonna cry.
That
I miss some
we're
of
gonna
your
be
harder rock music. I'm gonna be putting out some heavy ass shit. I kind of want to give it a second to breathe though. I've really been enjoying making this acoustic stuff, and I think such a big part of alternative music. And you and I have already talked about this before, Nick. Just the ability to do different shit. The interesting intersection where you guys have been growing into doing heavier music, more politicized music, and the exploring, these sensitive acoustic songs.
we're meeting in the middle.
I think it's truly just about. I think art is a constant pursuit. If you arrive anywhere, then I think that's time to be nervous and that's time to be scared of something.
Yeah, I think you have to kind of grow and change. You have to be somewhere you've never quite been for it to be exciting, for it to be honest. I feel like otherwise we're just kind of stuck.
We're still gonna put out some heavy shit and shit all over everyone, but we're still gonna do it. What else we got? Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more music together. I don't know where you went. You're probably never coming back. Oh, you're back. That's good.
Let's grab this.
Oh, yeah. Give us a bit of the riff. Tell us about it.
Say what?
Tell us about the guitar riff, how you came about the dominant part. I mean, Kev started jamming along with you and alongside Boone. The three of us were in the room that day. It was in Hollywood, right next to Hotel Cafe, which is actually where the first Grandson show was ever played.
Really?
Interesting trivia fact. It's an acoustics venue, seated only, and we did like a heavy ass set. We had a guitar player. There was 5 people on stage, and we played this like bar, acoustic singer-songwriter bar in Hollywood for like 30 people.
Cafe, that's a classic little
classic experience. Played there. John Mayer, Mac Miller, one of Mac Miller's last performances, usually influential on me.
Wow.
But yeah, we got together, and you did the little slidey guitar thing, which I think is super Seattle. I think the riff itself is like very much an homage to where you're from.
Well, I kind of just went to a place that I go a lot, which is just kind of that E, that low E with the droning thing.
Slide us on. Let me see the neck. Yeah, give it to me. There you go.
Yeah, it's like the Nirvana, all apologies. Which they're trying to do like a Beatles Eastern sitar impression,
It's interesting to note how influenced Kurt was by the Beatles. So you took it to the Middle Eastern place, and it's like that was what George Harrison and they were doing 20 years earlier.
Yeah.
So you took it up the neck, and then what happened? Nick?
I don't know, but I end up doing that a lot, and from there it's all a blur. I don't know. Started ripping some chorus. We got another chord. We argue about what chord sounds the freshest and the coolest after that, and it's just kind of a process of playing. Playing like a little kid, where you don't really think too hard about anything. You just kind of throw shit around and what do you say? I feel like writing is like you're like a little kid playing, and then you're like an adult in the back of your head just being like, okay, let's organize that part.
Yeah.
That's good. Let's take that. You got the organizer and you got the player.
Yeah, I think it's just like allowing yourself permission to be chaotic, allow your brain to go in places it hasn't been, or do things that are that are a flow. Like a good example of that for me, or one thing I constantly return to when I was doing the lyrics for Bloodwater. We had cut it once or twice, and I was kind of sick, and we were planning on recutting the vocals. And in the bridge, I kind of fall off out of the pocket. I kind of get unsyncopated for a second. I kind of pushed I'm like a little off, with the cadence of it. And we were gonna recut it. It's like I've done this 100 times, and each time I haven't done that one thing. But in that moment, the fact that it was a little different, and I couldn't recreate that particular way of being off of it, led us to keeping it. And I think that the best sessions have some balance. Different people ask about songwriting, and some people are really regimented. They have strict rules of where the melody can go. They are very attentive to the symmetry between verses and things like that. But I think that my favorite, I start feeling like it's a job then, like a puzzle, and it's hard for me to get excited when I feel like I'm doing a math problem trying to write a song. So I think it ultimately ends up somewhere in the middle between like the organization of it and the rules that American pop music follows, while also
I agree. Like you want to get it right in a sense. You want it to be what you intended to write, but also you don't want to edit it too much, or else you just suck all the life out of it.
Yeah.
I think it took me a while to try to kind of maybe find a little balance.
I want to ask you about some particular shows that have been canceled that you're disappointed about. Because when we spoke in our conversations piece, it's going to actually come out a couple of days for the new podcast that I started called XXY, which y'all can check out. You were saying how excited you were to go to London and do this first Europe tour.
Exactly. Yeah, April. We were going to go to UK to do our first whole UK tour. Been so excited about that. Like really, my whole life, like most of my favorite bands are from Britain, and it's just such a great culture of rock there even still. So we've been really excited to do that. It's finally happening, and then the COVID-19. Actually, before that, the tour we were going to do got postponed from the fall till April. So this was the redo of that tour, and then it all went down. So we're a little bummed about that, but I think it's all for a reason. Like it's already rescheduled for fall. We're gonna go back even harder and even more ready than before. So
yeah, I think that I only even brought it up just because I think that while people can obviously assume so, like your favorite artist, whoever is watching this, that had to cancel their tour is really upset about it, really disappointed. I know you were, and I'm supposed to be in Canada right now, and that's really hard over the last, like probably the hardest part of all. It's just like not only am I just so confused and scared and unsure of what's going on, but I'm supposed to be with my people. You know, that's such a hard part. And
I know
thing has become over the last couple of years of doing is such an outlet for a specific part of my personality. And if that doesn't come out, I feel crazy. And
it's weird for us too. We've been on tour pretty much nonstop for 4 years. So this is the first time we've ever not been.
What do you do?
Like,
who am I?
What is like?
I mean, it's postponed. It's not forever, but
exactly.
Anyways,
just like a little rest. It's like, okay, everyone, we're gonna chill now, and we're gonna reflect, and we're gonna grow, and then we're gonna do all the same stuff we was gonna do, except for Firefly.
Yeah, this shit sucks. All right, dude. Well, I'm gonna leave now. I'm gonna listen to the song 100 times. Probably sit on Instagram surfing it for a little bit.
Me too.
For shit. Go to bed and start a new day. Let's talk again, soon. It's always a pleasure.
It's great to talk to you, my friend. I'm glad you're holding up well.
In the world, makes me happy. Makes me happy that you're a part of it. Couldn't have been this song without you. It was you. And without Kevin.
Thanks so much for inviting me to do it, man. I think it's a really special song.
And we have some more music coming together at some point.
Yes, we do. It's
I don't know.
A secret.
We'll see, but it probably won't be a soft acoustic one, will it?
It won't. Not at all. Not even close.
Pretty hard. So all right.
So stay tuned for that.
You're the man, and thanks for being on the song, and thank you guys for tuning in. And
you are.
You. We'll talk soon.
Thanks for all the questions, everyone. Love you.
Much love.